I know I probably wore this shirt in videos before, but just remember, I'm not an outfit repeater. You're an outfit rememberer. And you probably didn't even remember. I just reminded you from some reason, but why not? And well, today we're going to talk a little bit of NBA. I haven't talked NBA in a minute. I say in a minute, but I just dropped the video about the Pacers. But the other day, Kevin Durant got asked by some Arizona reporter why he is not mentioned in the GOAT conversation. And KD responded to this like, I don't know why people are surprised he responded like this, but what he basically said is, because I went to the Warriors, why shouldn't I be in that? That's the question you should ask. Why not? What haven't I done? I understand why for Kevin Durant, it makes no sense why he's not in the GOAT conversation because Kevin Durant, from what I've seen and from what I've heard and the information I've gathered from social media and everywhere else, is that Kevin Durant is somebody when it comes to basketball, he just looks at the basketball. He just looks at, you know, pure hoops, the numbers and all that. And if we're just looking at hoops, numbers, and all that, Kevin Durant is insane. Like, let's be honest. Kevin Durant is one of the best players that we've ever seen. Like, from a standpoint of there's no other better scorer than him all time in the NBA. And I know a lot of people like to say Kareem and especially Kobe. And all respect to them, of course, because they are both great players. And honestly, they're players that I rank higher on all-time lists, higher than Kevin Durant. But they're not the scorer Kevin Durant is. Kevin Durant was put on this earth by Jesus Christ himself to score the basketball. I mean, it's very rare to find somebody who's 7 foot, can shoot from everywhere, can handle like a point guard, and can also defend it. That's basically what Kevin Durant is. And is that really that rare given that the NBA is now about to be littered with 6'9" plus players who can do it all? They're coming. And it's and it's scary, but I understand why in his mind he's a GOAT. But in all honesty, being the GOAT is more than the numbers, more than the stats, and more than the awards. And I know I saw an article that people were saying that he's not a GOAT because they were comparing his numbers and awards to Jordan's. And I feel like personally, like I understand because nobody can, not few people can stack up to Jordan when it comes to gathering awards and stats. And in Kevin Durant's case, it's much harder given the injury history he's had, that he's been a player to miss multiple entire seasons and sometimes only played like 50 games in a year. But it's more than the numbers, it is a perception. Like, perception is part of the reason why at this point in time, and likely for, just it's cemented that Stephen Curry will be higher up on the list all time wise than Kevin Durant. Even though you can make a very strong case that Kevin Durant is a better player, Stephen Curry's higher on that list, and he's honestly more close to a GOAT conversation than Kevin Durant. Mainly because it's like, bruh, you said it in your quote. You went to the Warriors. And I know we're at the point in time now we don't really talk about it that much. And we've kind of, just lived with it and make peace with the situation. But it's kind of crazy what he did. He went to the team that won the championship in 2015. In 2016, won 73 games. Y'all match up with each other in the conference finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder, that was your team, the team you were leading, was up 3-1 on them, and y'all lost the series. And that offseason, after they lose the finals to Bron and them, you go to the Warriors. And like, I now looking at it with hindsight, it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be, because at the time it felt like for the next 5 to 10 years the NBA was ruined, and it probably should have been if injuries didn't happen. Because if we're being honest about that Warriors team, if KD doesn't get hurt, if Clay doesn't get hurt, or KD just simply stays, we're looking at a completely different story and a true dynasty that the Warriors could have been with Kevin Durant. The Warriors have been a dynasty, but Kevin Durant is not like at the centerpiece of that dynasty. If he would have stayed and they would have won more championships, which I think they would have if KD would have stayed, then we're having a different conversation. And it's not just the Warriors move. I mean, this man has played on more teams than anybody else who's even close to that conversation. Like, everybody who we put in the GOAT conversation either played for like 1 to 2 teams. Like Jordan played for the Bulls and the Wizards. We don't count that. Bron, he played for 3 teams, but he stood at all those teams 4 or 5 seasons at the least, which is what I saw. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but yeah, and it's like Kevin Durant has, start off with the Thunder, went to the Warriors, went to the Nets. And honestly, I think the most damning thing out of all of this is how that Nets thing went. With how he so quickly jumped ship when all that was tearing down. When, in my opinion, if he would have stayed there and maybe won them something, like if he would have won a championship in Brooklyn after all that stuff with Kyrie and James Harden happened, then we're looking at something very different. Because then I think you can have a conversation about him being in the conversation, if that makes sense, because that would have been very impressive. But he left when it got hard, and he went to Phoenix. And even though that last year initially when he got traded to Phoenix, how that team looked very good on paper, but in all honesty, it wasn't because they didn't have the depth. It's like if you're one of the goats, that team, in my opinion, at least makes it to the conference finals. You know, and you're Kevin Durant. You should have done that. And I also like, and then I don't really have a problem with him sitting here and saying that I should be one of the ghosts because he's an athlete. All athletes are uber confident in themselves and their abilities and see themselves as the best version of themselves. And of course, to him, he's like, I'm one of them ones. And yeah, KD, you're one of them ones, but it's like the reputation matters. What you've done matters. And the fact that you don't have a championship outside of the Warriors is damning when it comes to putting you in a GOAT conversation. Because when has Kevin Durant done it on his own? When has he been somewhere and been like, okay, it's me. We're building around me. I am going to do this. He has never done that. He went to the Warriors, which was a already thriving ecosystem before he got there, and which is clearly at the time and now unequivocally Steph's team and literally Steph's organization, in my opinion, because without Steph, none of that is possible. You can't say the same thing for KD. Like, in all honesty, if KD would have never went to the Warriors still would have been the Warriors. Maybe with a little less, not as many championships, but they would have still been the Warriors. It's like you couldn't get it done at OKC, which is cool because you were very young there, and it's okay to switch teams. It's like you went to the Warriors, yes, you got it there. Then you went to the Nets, and nothing materialized. Like, I don't think people understand how big of a disaster the Nets were. Kevin Durant wanted to go there. Kevin Durant told them to go get Kyrie Irving. So that is your fault, Kevin Durant. Like, I know it's not entirely his fault because Kyrie's his own man and he's going to do what he's going to do, but that's the guy you wanted to get there. The same way we blame LeBron for the Russell Westbrook thing because he wanted Russell Westbrook when the front office and other people in the front office thought it would be smarter to get somebody like Buddy Hield. I put that on Bron. I'm the biggest Bron fan. That's on him. So that's also on you too. And I didn't want this to turn into a slandering Kevin Durant video, but to me, it's just the facts. There is a good reason why you're not in the GOAT conversation. So don't act like it's just for no reason. Don't say just because I went to the Warriors. Yes, it's partially because of that. Like, come on. You smart enough to know how that looked at the time and still looks to this very day. And it also didn't help him that Stephen Curry and the Warriors won a championship. Like, after they split apart, the Warriors and Curry won a championship before he could even sniff one. It's kind of insane. I understand why Kevin Durant thinks he should be in the GOAT conversation, but I also completely understand why he is not. Perception matters. It's not just about the numbers. Perception and reputation matter a little bit more than numbers when it comes to these fictional conversations and these lists, honestly. And context matters a lot because no matter what you want to say about LeBron's moving around, he's never just jumped into the best situation. Like, yes, when he went to Miami, he jumped into a pretty good situation. But if you look at what they were the year before, it's not like they were world beaters. He went there and they had to build that team up with him. And then you look at him going back to Cleveland. That wasn't probably the smartest choice. The smartest choice should have been to stay in Miami in what is a thriving ecosystem that builds itself. But he went to Cleveland. and one in Cleveland. And then, in all honesty, should he have ever gone to LA given how we're seeing it play out now? It's like, bro, no matter what cards he's been dealt, he found a way. He found a way to get him one everywhere. And then Jordan's Jordan. I mean, like, it's do I need to explain why Jordan is in there? Like, it's Jordan. But yeah. This turned into me talking about the entire GOAT conversation. But yeah, I get what Kevin Durant is saying, but at the end of the day, nah, bruh. Nah. You on the outside looking in. You just gotta be okay with that. I love y'all. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this? Is Kevin Durant a GOAT in your eyes? Like, it's okay. Just explain it to me. I hate people that just say wild, off the wall and don't explain it. Like, at least have a compelling argument. Then it'll be fun to argue with you. But all right. I love y'all. Hopefully y'all had a good day or have a good day depending on when I post this. And peace.